Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TNP Finance, where you make long and short-term investing simple. Today we're going to take a look at just the NASDAQ here, maybe a couple other stocks surrounding it. Basically just a very short video on where I expect the NASDAQ to go tomorrow and for the next week. So you can be prepared, you can have those trades ready, those positions open, and make some money. So without further ado, let's get started over here. We'll hop over to the heat map here. See that it was a very kind of red, kind of mixed day. Now this is a lot cooler of a day compared to yesterday and compared to the day before. What I like to see in the NASDAQ is that the bearish volume is starting to taper off. Here you have a move that was 1.32%. Here you have a move that was a total of, let's see, 1.9%. A big rejection, and then today you had a day that didn't have too much volatility whatsoever. We kind of just stuck in this range here of about 1%. We haven't closed yet for the NASDAQ, but currently we're 0.49% in the negative. That being said, I am expecting a little bit of a cool down of this kind of bear crash here. Now, I don't believe that this is the top of the market, just based on the fact that we really haven't had that big of a stall. This breakout of previous highs here was very significant. We had a retest and a large rejection of that level. I think it's just about time that we come back, kind of cool down. We are still in a bull trend. You still have your higher highs and higher lows present. You also have this support level sitting at about 23,000, great psychological level, and we're holding very, very strong. That's where we got our rejection yesterday from that line. And right now you're very close to that line, and this is a fantastic trade for you to take, where you could be going long just like this, putting your stop loss right at support, take profit. It's already set right there, right at resistance, for a nice 3 risk to reward ratio. This is a fantastic trade you could be taking, and this is probably the most likely scenario as we're still in a bull market. So this is the trade that I personally will be taking as well. Risking 100, making 300. To me, that's a really good trade there, and it's not going to take too much of your time. You can look to cash that out in about 1 to 2 days. I think by Monday or Tuesday next week, we could definitely get a nice closeout of that level there. But I'm seeing a drop in volatility here. I'm seeing this kind of, my favorite pattern is when the market starts to kind of round off, showing that sellers or just selling pressure in general or buying pressure in general is kind of slowing down, and you're getting an opposite move. Kind of the same thing as this one here. You have this running top. That's how we caught this fantastic short trade yesterday for 25%, and the same thing could be seen here when we were predicting a top for the market here. I'm not against calling tops, I just don't think that this is a very valid top what we just had. Where you can see here, very obvious rounding, and then lots and lots of selling pressure. You don't really have that big rejections in this form here to show that, you know, we're not going into a bear market, we're not really calling a top. I think this bull market still has a lot to show for itself, so just keep your eyes open for that. Let's take a look at nvidia and Microsoft, the two market leaders, and see what they are. Are we still getting, are they kind of in my same idea when it comes to analysis? And let's just take a look here. Right over here on nvidia, you had this huge sweep. All-time highs is looking at 184. We came all the way down to 168. So that would have been a drop percentage of, let's see here, of about 9%, 8.5% there. This very, very strong rejection, bullish rejection, right from this lower Bollinger Band level. Now, every time I see a touch of Bollinger Bands, most of the time, I want to say about 80% of the time, I do see a very nice rejection back to the upside here. And it can be shown very evidently right here, right here. You can really point to wherever you have a lower Bollinger Band touch. And then you have a move straight up from that. And again, I love to see that we have this high volume, this high volatility, showing that this is the correct direction that the market wants to go in. And then you have this cool down day. Typically when you have a very volatile day in the market, and yesterday was more volatile than the day before, as we can see in the NASDAQ, as we move down more, you like to see a bit of a cool down just so the market can kind of, I guess, collect its thoughts and collect itself, and then we will continue moving hopefully soon. But again, the risk to reward trade for this is fantastic. And what I'm looking at now, long position, all the way back up to these peaks here. And then you have your stop loss super, super tight, right at the lower Bollinger Band for 3.5 risk to reward ratio. This is a great trade here. Same thing to be seen with Microsoft here. Microsoft, you have a bit more of a more bearish looking price action reading, just because, especially on earnings over here, you had earnings that created a huge gap. We closed this gap off. We must have closed this at about, let's see here, whichever day this was, Monday. And from here, this is just where the rest of the NASDAQ is pulled back. Now, we got that lower Bollinger Band touch. We got some green here. So again, very, very safe. And again, the risk-reward ratio is crazy, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. I take lots of trades like this where I'm getting 10 to 20 risk-reward ratio, and just something back up to this, let's say previous resistance line here, 2.9% to the upside, 8.3 risk reward ratio. Great trade to be taken there. And if it doesn't work out, you only lose whatever, 20, 30 bucks, something extremely minimal to get a cash out of about $240. So that being said, that is a wrap for today. Very, very quick video. I just want people to not be kind of scared out and get faked out from the market. It's all headed in a great direction. We have about 5 or 6 positions that are currently running because the market is doing very, very well, showing a lot of strength, and I love to see that. But that's gonna be a wrap for today, y'all. I will see you tomorrow at the end of the week, and then yeah, take care, y'all. Happy trading.